Hello everyone, good morning. I'm Zenith and welcome to Mindfulness Sunday. This is where we talk about mindfulness. We practice a few stretches and deep breathing for flexibility and stress relief. Today, we will talk about the importance of recharging our energy. On days when we feel overwhelmed, stressed, or anxious, it's important that we take the time out to stretch and to breathe. Not only will it increase our lung capacity, relieve tension and stress, but it will also help us to shift our focus and provide a boost of energy. Okay, let's get started in easy pose, sitting up in a comfortable position. Again, whatever works for you is key here. We'll go ahead and find a point in front of us. We'll gently close our eyes. Inhaling and exhaling in and out through our nose. Taking deep, long, full breaths. And on the inhale, we can feel the air rising up from our abs, filling our lungs. And on the exhale, we're releasing all tension and stress. So we're inhaling, exhaling, we're relaxing. Inhaling, exhale, relax. Inhaling, exhale, relax. Let's go ahead and gently open our eyes. If this is a bit too much for you, you can also go into hero pose, where we're sitting on our ankles. So this is hero pose. Or it's okay to just sit with our heels one in front of each other, and we're sitting up tall. Another option is to sit closer to the wall. My back is along the wall. I'm focused on a point in front of me and gently close my eyes. I'm breathing, taking deep, long, full breaths. Starting to inhale from my abs. Feeling the air fill my lungs. And on the exhale, I'm releasing all tension and stress. Inhale. 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 One more time, inhale. Let's go ahead and open our eyes. That should feel good. Now let's go ahead and go into plank pose. We'll get into plank pose from all fours. So with all fours, my shoulders are directly above my wrist and my hips are directly above my knees. So we're in tabletop, and I'll go ahead and I'll move my arms up and my knees up a bit. To get into plank, I'll go ahead and I'll bring my right leg back. My right leg is straight, my knee is straight. I'm reaching down through my arms. I can feel it in my wrists. And I'll go ahead and I'll pick up my left leg. My knee is straight. My navel is tucked in towards my spine. My core is engaged. This is a great, great strengthener for your core, for your arms. My gaze is towards the ground. I'm looking at my mat. I'm up on my toes and I'm breathing, inhaling and exhaling here. To release plank, I'll bend my right knee, bringing it to the mat. Bending my left knee, bringing it to the mat. And we'll come back into child's pose. I'll bring my big toes together, bring my knees out wider than hip distance apart, and bring my hips back. Bringing my feet flat so I'm not up on my toes. I reach my arms forward and I'll come down on my forehead. And I'm breathing here, taking normal breaths. Coming out of child's pose and back into tabletop. From tabletop, we'll go back into plank. First, I'll come up on my toes. I'll reach back with my right leg. My right leg is straight. I reach back with my left leg. My left leg is straight. My legs are hip distance apart. Gazing down at my mat. My heels are reaching back. My core is engaged. I'm reaching down through my arms. It's a great total body stretch, a great core strengthener. Releasing from plank, bring my right knee down, my left knee down, bring my big toes together, bring my knees farther apart, farther than hip distance, and I'll sink back on my heels into child's pose. This is considered a resting pose in yoga. And we're breathing, coming out of child's pose and back into plank pose. Or this is actually called high plank. We'll do that one more time. So I'm reaching back with my right leg, reaching back with my left leg. My core is engaged. We're breathing. I'm gazing at the mat. My heels are reaching back. And we are breathing. So on the exhale, we're releasing all tension and stress, and we're focusing on the present moment. Coming out of high plank, we'll bring our right knee down, followed by our left knee. Big toes are together, knees farther apart, sinking back into child's pose. For 3 breaths. Coming out of child's pose. This time we'll move into what we call low plank. So with low plank, we're coming down on our forearm, almost like we're going into cobra or sphinx pose. I'm reaching back with my right leg, so my right leg is straight. I'm reaching back with my left leg. I'm gazing down, so my head is not lifted, my gaze is down. My core is tight, my heels are reaching back, and I'm breathing here. Coming out of low plank, I bring my right knee onto the mat, my left knee onto the mat, and come up into Sphinx pose. So for Sphinx pose, my feet is flat. I'm not up on my toes, my feet's flat. Great job. Let's go ahead now and curl our toes under once more into low plank. So I'm curling my right toes under, my left toes under, and I'm just raising my lower body off the mat. And my gaze is downward, looking between my arms. My core is engaged. I'm reaching back through my heels, and I am breathing. Let's go ahead and release, bring my right knee down, my left knee down. My feet's flat, and I'm back into Sphinx pose. So we'll do that one more time. I'm curling my toes under. I'm bringing my navel in towards my spine, and I'm lifting my lower body off the mat. Great core strengthener. I'm also working my arms here. This is a total body stretch. Great job. Let's go ahead and release. Back into Sphinx. Great job. Let's get back into child's pose. Great job. Let's get out of child's pose. Coming back center. Or a twist. So my right knee is bent. I'm hugging my right leg with my right arm. I'm bringing my left arm back behind me to keep my spine straight. And I'll bring my right hand on my left thigh, and I will twist, looking over my left shoulder. I'm breathing. Coming back center. Shifting to the other side. Bring my left leg in close to my body. Wrap my left arm around. Bringing my left hand onto my right thigh. Bringing my right arm behind me to help me to keep my spine straight. So I'm sitting up tall, and I'll twist to the right, looking over my right shoulder, or as far as I can go, and just breathe here. Great job coming back center. Let's go ahead and rebalance ourselves. Finding our balance. Moving on, let's go into what's called staff pose. So we are sitting up. Our legs are straight in front of us. Our toes are pointing up. And our legs are totally engaged. I can feel the tightening or the strengthening in my quads. I can feel the lengthening in my hamstrings. My core is engaged, so my navel is tucked in. And I'm sitting up tall. I'm resting my arms on my thigh. But it's okay, we can go ahead and rest our arms next to our hips, close to our knee, whatever feels comfortable. I'll go ahead and rest my hands on my quads. Let's go ahead and close our eyes and breathe here, inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. Okay, let's be a little bit adventurous, and we're going to reach forward, trying to touch our ankles or our toes, and we go as far as we can go today. Okay, so if you can touch your toes, that's awesome. Sometimes you just need to shift yourself around until you get to a comfortable position. And if you're able to get your index finger around your big toes, you can gently hold them towards your body. Stretch for the back of our legs so you can feel the lengthening in our hamstrings and also in our calf muscles. So my toes are pointing up and I'm reaching forward and I'm breathing here. Great job. Let's get back into staff pose. We went from staff pose to head to knee pose. So coming out of head to knee pose, we're back into staff. From staff pose, we'll go into crab. So for crab, my hands are flat behind me, bending my right knee, I'm bending my left knee. As a matter of fact, I'll scoot up so I'll be in the frame, the camera frame. My hands are behind me, flat on the mat. My knees are bent My feet are hip distance apart, and I lift my hips up off the mat. My elbows are straight, and I'm looking up at the ceiling. My core is engaged. If you're able to, you can just reach back and look back at the wall behind you. Bringing my head forward, bringing my hips down, bending my elbows, sitting up, straightening my right leg, straightening my left leg, and I'm back into staff pose. We'll go ahead and shake our arms out. So we're in staff pose. We'll move back into crab. I bring my right arm back, my left arm back. I'll bring my right leg in, bending my knee, bringing my left leg. My feet are hip distance apart. And I'll go ahead and I'll gently lift my hips off the mat, bringing them up. Hip distance, bringing my hips up off the mat. Sometimes you may need to adjust to feel comfortable. My elbows are straight. I'm looking up at the ceiling. And if you're able to join me, I will look back at the wall behind me. My core is tight. My abs are engaged. I'm breathing. I'm feeling the strengthening in my arms. Getting out of crab. I'm bringing my head back to center. Releasing my hips to the mat. Bending my elbows. And I'm back into staff pose. Great job. I'll go ahead and massage my wrists. Reverse. Great job. Let's go ahead and reach out with our right arm. Our fingers are pointing up. They're spread wide apart, and I'll bring my left arm up, gently pull my right fingers forward. Great job. Let's go ahead and shake that out. I'll bring my left arm up. I'll bring my right fingers to gently pull my left fingers back, releasing and shaking my arms out. Great job. Let's get back to center. Sitting up tall. How does that feel? So whenever you need a boost of energy, whether you're feeling anxious or nervous or overwhelmed or simply drained, it's important that you take the time to focus on yourself, to do whatever works for you. This is just one option. Breathing and stretching does help us to shift our focus, and it provides a boost of energy. I look forward to continuing our journey of joy and discovery. If you have not yet subscribed, I hope you will subscribe to our channel. Have a great day, everyone. Namaste.